The first one, I don't mind it.
Yeah, what do you think of the first two episodes?
I didn't watch PTs yet, so I can't judge it.
Okay. What do you think of Russ's?
That's good that you didn't watch it actually, because we're gonna be doing the exact same.
Yeah,
one.
we're basically in.
Oh, really?
That's good. You'll
Very
get like
similar.
literally
Yeah,
your.
I have his whole list of questions. That
Really?
I'm gonna ask you.
The same
Yes.
questions?
No, not the same questions. It's gonna be a little bit different, but
Rez's
We
was
digressed.
yeah,
We digressed.
yeah, a lot.
Great. Like you went on tangents?
Yeah.
Yeah. And see, this way, if the camera stops, I can just interlace the audio, and it's no big deal. So
Yeah.
it'll be a lot smoother. We won't have to talk back for.
I thought Rez's was really good. Rez had great answers for everything.
Yeah, he did.
I feel like he was prepared.
He wasn't, dude. It was so off the cusp. Like he was
Really?
literally. I was like, dude, let's go do a sound test because we were supposed to do PTs, and then he couldn't come, and so I was like, let's do a sound test, and Rez was like, let's just do a podcast. I'm like, okay, what do you want to do it about? He's like, just do it about programming. I'm like, okay, sick.
That's
So it's
awesome.
literally all off the cusp.
That's amazing.
Okay, introduce yourself. You're new
I'm
to
Pete.
the podcast.
Pete Shaw.
Pete Shaw.
What do you want to know about me?
I don't know.
I'm
Co-owner of NCR.
co-owner of NCR.
That's relatively recent, right? Within the last year, is it?
Yeah, when was that?
It was like February 2016.
Yeah,
2017. Sorry, February
February
2017.
2017.
Is when that was finalized.
It
Yeah.
was around the same time I got on staff.
Big
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
So that was a huge year.
Okay, so you're a co-owner NCR. You're on the CrossFit Level 1 seminar staff.
Yeah.
How many time regional athlete?
This was my third time as an individual, and then I went once on the team.
Once on the team?
Yeah.
Cool. How long have you been doing CrossFit for?
Been doing CrossFit for, well, this is the first and only gym I ever did CrossFit at, so I did for about 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Well, You've been to another gym.
I've been to a couple of the gyms, like dropped in. I went
Before
to,
this, yeah.
in 2013, I did every open workout at a different CrossFit gym.
Wow.
So I was doing it before. In 2013, I was doing it then, and then I was following .com for a few years before that as well. But I
Just
didn't
like at a YMCA type thing?
know at the university gym.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, at Queens.
Mm.
And I didn't know that there were CrossFit gyms.
Yeah.
I thought it was just a website.
Yeah, that was like what you said too.
Yeah.
Similar.
Same thing.
I
Yeah.
thought it was just a site.
Yeah. Didn't have an idea. And so before CrossFit, athletically, you do anything? Play sports? Hockey?
Yeah.
everyone
Lots
plays
of hockey.
here.
We played in the same league.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you guys the same age?
Paul and I. No, he's a couple of years older than me.
Right.
So we play in the same leagues. We haven't figured out like if we actually played against each other. But
Because you played, I think you played earlier than I did, like in age,
right.
and you were done. I think when I started.
And then I switched conferences too. I only played
Yeah.
a year in the same conference, and then I went to Queens and started playing the same league
Right.
in a different.
But one time we
city, so-
played hockey together, just like pick up, and I saw him skate, and I
Remember?
yeah, like you know what? I think I have played against this
I have
guy.
a very like bent over skating position.
And you had
Really?
long hair back then, right?
Yeah, I had
Yeah, I
some
think-
shaggy hair.
I feel like you'd be
Yeah.
like a
think
tank
I saw
on
this
skates
kid
though,
in
man.
the
You got a
corner.
fit trunk.
It was good. I used the body a lot. I was a digger.
Yeah.
When-
I remember that's the thing that shocked me the most when I met Sidney Crosby in person was that like he didn't look that jacked, but he was like you. It was like a tree trunk around his
Around
midline.
the core.
Like it was just like massive.
Strong
It's a
core,
hockey
big
thing.
legs. Yeah.
It's a hockey thing.
Yeah.
So hockey, main sport.
Hockey, I don't know, lots of skiing. I did a bit of running, lots
Yeah.
of everything, like a collection of things. I played some lacrosse in the summers. Played in high school. I played football.
Right.
I played a little soccer in high school. I did cross country. I played some rugby.
Cool.
Like
What position did you play in rugby?
I was
Second
first year I was wing, and then the next
Really?
year I was inside.
So you weren't as big
center.
back then?
Exactly.
Ah.
And then I was in high school. I was short, man. I was a pinner and like skinny, and
Really?
I was a very slow grower.
Because right now you're 6'1", 205,
215.
215.
Yeah.
Big boy.
Yeah. So
Probably one of the
very
heaviest
slow.
guys at regionals, man.
Yeah, it's slow.
Yeah.
I was really slow. Like I never thought I would ever be considered like a big guy.
Right.
And then even when Jen met me, I was skinny.
Yeah, interesting. And so did you start through that athletic? Did you start in the gym at all, or was CrossFit your first introduction to like working out?
No, I was always in the gym.
Yeah.
Like my dad always had a garage gym.
Mm.
Like I lived in the garage gym.
Right.
Because for me, like to be a good hockey player, or like at least good enough to get to the level I was at, which wasn't like amazing or anything, but I wanted to be as good as possible. I always had to train.
Right.
I was always trying to be like as fit as possible. So the garage gym got a lot of use.
Right.
And my dad was super into fitness. He was always into running. He was always into running and bench press. That's the only thing.
He's still very good at that.
Always
Yeah.
good at both those things.
He still prides himself on the fact that he's got a bigger bench than his squat.
Pull-ups, he do a lot of pull-ups. Yeah, lots of bench and pull-ups. He's doing lots of bicep curls. And I do all that same stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd go online or buy the odd book, like men's fitness program, like a 6-week program.
Yeah.
You know, do follow that in the gym. And I got decent at knowing like what workouts I should be doing. I followed like Joe Sakic's, in-season hockey program, squat program for like a little bit. You know what I mean? So I taught myself a lot of that stuff.
A story about Joe Sakic. I remember when I was younger, like starting to work out. My brother would always like bring me to the Ottawa U gym, and one time, like I wasn't there, I didn't see this, but he came home and he told me this story. He's like, "Hey man, like the Avalanche, like the Colorado was practicing at the GG's rink, and right before I was there working out, and Sakic was there doing jump squats with like 3 plates, and I was like, wow,
Dude,
like Joe Sakic was a machine."
Dude, in his program, I remember this before hockey games, and I started to do this. He would hit like a 1 rep max the day of a hockey game. Like he'd try to do it as close to the game as he could. I'm pretty sure.
Wonder what the science
So I like
is there.
going. So I like going to the gym.
Or?
Yeah, I like go in. I'd hit like a heavy single, and then I'd go to the hockey
Oh my
game because I was
God.
trying to follow it. Yeah.
Man,
Low volume, high muscle recruitment, right? Get the legs going, but not go too crazy on the volume. Kind of makes sense.
Wake
Get a
up
little
the CNS.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Wake up the CNS.
Interesting. I worked out at the YMCA where the Sens play, and there was like one day I was just squatting. It was the same story. Like a bunch of guys in blue like sweatsuits came in. I had no idea what it was, and the next thing I knew, I was literally sharing a rack with Vinny Lecavalier. It was
No way.
Yeah.
He was apparently a pretty
He's
big beast.
big.
Yeah,
too.
it was sick. It was really cool.
That's a big guy.
Yeah. So finding CrossFit, how did that happen? You're doing bicep curls, playing hockey. Where's CrossFit come in?
Yeah, so basically, I was at home one summer. It was in university, and I came home for the summer, and I was training in my dad's garage gym.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my neighbors, Judd LaRock, he was a firefighter, and he came over, and he just walked over. He was like, "Hey Pete, like the guys at the station are doing this thing called CrossFit.com. Like all the guys at the station, they love it. Like apparently a lot of military guys do it too. You should check it out." So I was like, "Okay, awesome." Wrote it down. After the workout, go online, checked it out, looked sick. I was like, oh man, if like military and police and firefighters are all doing this, like sounds like it'd be good for hockey too.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I gotta try it. So just tried to plug away at all the videos online. They had a huge video archive of all this, so just started going there. I found like the old Chris Spieler and Heather Bergeron Adidas commercial on YouTube. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
From, like,
No, I don't think I was on
it
that.
was like I forget, it was 2000, maybe it was 2009 or 2010 that came out or something like that. And I watched that on like repeat. I was like, this is sick. Yeah, I was like, this is sick. Like, so that's how I found it, and then just started trying to follow it as best I could, and I would still do my other stuff. I wasn't like religious about following CrossFit.com, but I would look online, and a lot of the stuff, like some of it you don't understand.
Yeah.
And you're like, I looked at it and I was like, yeah, I'll just do something else today. But then there was like, I remember specifically there was one like power cleans, box jumps, and running. And like the power cleans, I just looked up a couple of videos trying to teach myself how to do it, measured out on Google Earth like the distance on the road.
Yeah.
And then I pushed my bench press bench up against an old like broken down car we had parked in the laneway, so it wouldn't tip over, and I'd jump from the ground onto the bench as it was pressed up against the car.
Yeah.
Like kind of hold the top of the car when I get up on top.
That's cool, man.
That was the start.
That's pretty cool that you started with CrossFit.com though.
Yeah.
When you think about it, like nowadays, like everyone, they just walk into a CrossFit gym, and they just start the programming that's at the gym, right?
Yeah.
And we talk about like, yeah, you got to follow CrossFit.com, try that out. That's what's been going on, for the last 17 years. Like that's how you started.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
I didn't need I don't know why I didn't figure out that there were like the games and stuff until way later. Like I don't think I told anyone else about what I was following.
Yeah.
I just like, some guy told me about CrossFit.com,
Mhm.
and I just like kept it to myself.
Yeah.
And I just followed
That's my
it.
secret.
Yeah, well, I just
Yeah.
like followed it, and then it wasn't until Steve got into it in 2016. Steve was like,
No, 12.
oh, or yeah, 2012, that he like figured out that there was competing and CrossFit gyms and the games and all
Mhm.
that stuff, and I was like, holy shit, like there's way more to this than just like this one website,
Right.
you know?
And so where did that take you then when you figured out? Is that when you were like, sick, I want to try to compete in this, or how did that? Like,
No,
the
that's exactly it.
competition
Like I was doing personal training
Yeah.
and working with our buddy Steve Briscoe, who owns another gym in Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
And we were both personal training together, and he competed on a team with CrossFit O-Town in
Mhm.
2012 or 2013.
I think 13.
It was 2013. He competed on a team with them, and I was like, I want to do the open with you. Like he's doing it at this other gym. I was like, I'm just gonna do it because
Mhm.
it's, you know, you can do it on your own, unaffiliated, videotape everything. So that's what I tried to do, and then like quickly just found out how competitive it was. It was a huge thing. He went to regionals. I was like, man, I want to go to regionals.
Mm-hmm.
So we both, he came back from regionals, and we both searched up like, you know, what were the best gyms in Ottawa. We like heard rumors that Paul and Reza were like the go-to guys for CrossFit in Ottawa, and they were just opening up a new gym. Because at first, we also knew that you guys were at Luzin.
Mm-hmm.
So we looked up Luzin, but then Steve was, or maybe you guys were talking to Steve at the time.
Yeah.
I think it went, you guys were talking to Steve after he had gone to regionals maybe, or he seeked you guys out. Somehow we knew that you guys were about to open up CrossFit NCR, and that's when I messaged you on Facebook, because you guys didn't have a website. And I was like, hey, we want to come in for a class. And you're like, okay, we have 2 classes.
Yeah.
You can come in.
Really?
You can come in at 6 a.m. or 5 p.m.
That's so funny.
So you're like, okay, 5 p.m. And so we came in, and it was literally just dirt on the ground.
Yeah.
It was just completely empty warehouse, so totally fresh. Walked in, did 1 class, signed up for your membership on the spot.
That's awesome.
I think I walked up to PT. I was like, hey, I want to go to regionals.
Basically,
He's like, okay, bud.
Yeah. Okay.
First, let's start with the double under workout here.
Yeah.
Overhead squat with an empty barbell.
Yeah.
And running.
Yeah.
And so from that point, how long was it till you qualified for region? You probably would have done the open
Qualified that year.
You qualified first year.
Yeah.
Sick.
On a team. We sent 2 teams.
Right.
I was really lucky. I was lucky enough that we had enough good athletes that like I could slide myself in with about 8 different people that were also going to regionals, and I qualified with the second team.
Right.
So I wasn't like an outstanding athlete or anything, but I was athletic enough that I could like build some fitness and get in on that second team. And that was
you showed
back
up
when-
like after regionals 2013. Like you showed up in the summer of 2013.
Yeah, after regionals 2013, we showed up.
Yeah, and that's when
you
like,
guys had just gone.
That's right.
And they came. The team came like.
It was in 2014 that we had
fourth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The team was like 4th.
Came 4th in 2013, and so you guys had your team of 6, the A team.
Yeah.
You know, and they were like the favorites to go back and go to the games. And then we had the B team, which we had still a lot of really good athletes that were not the top in the gym, but we were good enough to qualify. Like a pretty solid team. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was really good. So I slid in on that team, and then after that, it was they turned it into a super regional.
Right, because that was 2015.
Yeah, we were all like, a lot of the girls had either stopped doing CrossFit or maybe gone to another gym, and we just weren't able to form a team. So at the time, we had a bunch of guys in the gym who still wanted to compete, and we're like, okay, we're all going individual. And Dave Castro announced at the Invitational that they're going to do a super regional,
Right.
and that half the number of males and females were going to qualify, and we're just like, oh shit.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Top 20.
And we qualified, and to this day that's my second, until this year that was my best finish in the open.
Finished like 11th or 12th.
11th and 12th.
In 2015.
Yeah.
And then so to finish that in our region, winter regionals for the first time as an individual. 2015.
Yeah.
Sick.
We had 5 guys at regionals that year.
Yeah, it was crazy.
From our gym.
Yeah.
You two, Reza, Steve.
Steve Briscoe.
And Adam Davidson
Adam
trained with
Davidson.
us.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's
And,
awesome.
Pam
Yeah,
and Steve
Pam
qualified
started.
as a female
Yeah.
individual. So it's 5 guys and a girl.
Wow.
Yeah, it was good.
That's awesome.
That was an epic.
How'd that first regional go?
I came 19th.
Oh,
This was pretty good.
as a super regional, yeah, that's
Super
huge.
regional, halfway up the pack. It was crazy though. Like your first regional experience.
Oh shit.
And I remember, and Reza can attest to this because it was Reza's first.
Reza just
individual-
walked in the room for those of you guys listening.
It was Reza's first individual experience as well, and the first event was
What are we
Randy.
talking about?
Randy,
I want to talk about that.
and it was like walking out. At the time, the venue was a little bigger
Mm-hmm.
than the one now in Albany, and it was literally the warm-up area was under the stadium behind the scenes. Like you couldn't see the crowd, you couldn't feel the crowd.
Right.
There was nothing. So except like you're where the Zamboni basically sits
Right.
for the rink, and you're back there warming up, and then for your first event you've seen nothing, and then you go open the curtains and then everyone's screaming.
It's crazy.
And
Yeah.
you're just like, your heart is just like this, and then you got to do 75 snatches unbroken.
Oh man.
And you walk up to the mat and you're just like, you can't feel your body, and then you just start going and you kind of black out, and then it's over and you have a huge adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
I
All I
remember,
remember is seeing the red finish mat, crossing it, and thinking to myself, I want to go home.
That's crazy.
to sum up how intense that event felt, the second event was supposed to be, I remember it was Tommy V. It was supposed to be my best event for the weekend.
Yep.
Rope climbs and
Thrust or rope
thrusters, two
climb.
things I'm pretty good at. And it was my worst event of the weekend because event 1 was so high on adrenaline,
Yeah.
and I dumped and I just couldn't like recover after,
Right.
and I was so like on a low
Yeah.
that I was just like completely out of it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So then you competed, that's 2015, competed again regionals 2016, missed 2017?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then came back this year.
yeah.
So let's start moving towards this year regional.
Yeah.
Something was a little bit different with your training, correct? Because before you had just been kind of going, I know we touched on this during PTs, you were kind of going off the cusp following the NCR program on and off with
Yeah.
some other stuff.
Yeah.
But this year you committed to a coach, right?
Yeah. Committed to
Talk
a coach,
about that.
Committed to Reza.
Right.
Yeah, like we used to do like off the cuff. We would follow the
Just
NCR
like bounce
program.
ideas off each other,
Yeah.
come in and just make sure we like had
Yeah.
a decent amount of volume in the
Yeah,
day. and just-
exactly. Hit stop. Like if we hadn't hit something for a while, we
Yeah.
try and hit it. Hey, I want to do this. I want to do that.
We did a lot of
And we
partner workouts too.
Did a lot of partner workouts. I remember we went through a period where we'd do like, we'd try and do like the mayhem workouts. We'd see
Yeah,
a mayhem workout where we like
monster
to do
matches.
monster, a lot of
Monster
monsters.
matches.
Almost every
Pat
week.
Sherwood
I
monster
used to do
matches.
those all the
great.
time.
Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah, and then it was just like there were some specific things that I needed to tune up in my training that I was just having trouble like dialing in,
Yeah.
and I'd never had that issue before where I had gone like such a long period of time where I guess when you're new to CrossFit you just improve.
Mhm.
And I got to the point where I was like I'm having trouble attacking this weakness. I don't know where to start. And so I asked Reza, I was like, dude, I need you to program for me.
Mhm.
Like, are you down with that? I know it's a lot of work, like, and he was totally down with it. He just started every day. He would just tell me what to do.
And why
That was
Reza?
amazing.
Because I know PT had mentioned previously that you didn't think that would have worked for you because your tight relationship with him. Why did that work for you? Why did you think that'd be a good match?
For that exact reason,
Yeah.
because I'm tight with him,
Okay.
and he's here every day. He's already doing the programming for the classes,
Mhm.
which I wanted to continue doing, and I
Yeah.
knew that he would program those classes for me to do.
Mhm.
But also because the season's not a long season. Like the CrossFit season, like I came to him in November and I was like, hey man, like next month, like, do you want to start programming for me? At that point, you're in September, you've only got a few months to the Open, and then Open's over, next thing you know it. And for me, hadn't qualified the year before, so the Open was like the most important thing for me.
Mhm.
It was like, I need to qualify for regionals. So you don't have a lot of time, and we work out with him every day. He knows exactly who I am as an athlete,
Mhm.
and I trusted that he, better than anyone else, would be able to help me attack my weaknesses and program the things I needed to do.
Right. I asked
And
PT.
it's more or less like time too, right? Like you got on staff that year.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like maybe last year you got on
Yeah.
staff, you became a partner here. You know, we're doing more stuff, so
Yeah.
you're more busy, or
Yeah.
you're busier. So then it's like me, we're just like, we need to kind of outsource that
Right,
maybe
yeah.
for a season and see
Someone
how
else
that
think
feels.
about it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
let someone else feel, not have the stress of like going to the gym that day and
Yeah.
thinking like, what am I gonna do? You know, am I gonna work on my weakness? Am I gonna, hit everything I need to hit? Like this
Yeah.
way, like this guy would walk in and just run his dick into the ground with
Mhm.
squats, or
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah.
just things that he wasn't.
Yeah. And
Typically
not
good at.
think about it.
Yeah, not
like I
think
don't
about
have to
it.
stress. You don't have to spend the extra 10, 15 minutes before and after analyzing your program. Like for
Right.
me personally,
Yeah.
like did I do the right thing today? Am I, Reza has a plan set out. Also, like, it just comes down to you have tendencies in your own programming, and like if you're programming stuff, whether you try to or not, for yourself, if you're programming for yourself,
Mhm.
you're gonna program something that's just a little softer
Mhm.
than maybe what you should be doing.
100%.
Or a little bit biased or something like that.
Yeah, a little biased. Like
Yeah.
you're just not gonna make it hurt that bad.
Mhm.
And like when we were like kind of doing our own thing and we're working out, we're always working out together, and we basically have opposite weaknesses and strengths.
Yeah.
So it's like almost a game of like, okay, this one will be my weakness, and
Yeah.
then the next one will be yours, and
Yeah.
you're going back and forth.
Yeah.
Whereas like what you were doing and versus what I was doing is like basically just weakness the whole time.
The whole time.
Like your sessions were literally one weakness workout after another.
Yeah.
Where like before, maybe we weren't doing that
Mhm.
Yeah.
because we would like go back and
Yeah,
forth.
exactly.
So
Exactly.
I think that's what really, really helped too. It's just like hammering your weaknesses.
Yeah. When you get to a point in this sport where you have like a long training life, and it's just the law of diminishing returns. Like you got to put that much more effort into getting that extra 1% of
Right.
improvement.
Right.
And like if you don't have, that's what the value of like having that that coach is, or someone who's going to program for you and actually put in the time to like analyze and make sure that you are hitting everything.
Mhm.
You're doing weakness, and like there could be a risk there. Like, are you overtraining? Or at least I would be thinking about that. But if Rez is doing it, I can trust. Like, no, he's going to program it well enough that I can go hard every single day and not worry about overtraining and stuff like that. So
Yeah, that was like one of my biggest things too. Like obviously not even at near the level, but just like when I used to kind of make stuff up, it was the same question. It was the questions of like, is there bias, whatever, but also the overtraining thing was always in my mind.
Yeah.
I'm like, is this too much? But then once I started following class programming or whatever, it was like you can switch off of
Exactly.
that. You know what I mean?
Do it.
Yeah, you just trust it and go.
just do it.
And that trust, that's probably a big reason why Weather was good for you, because you mentioned it with Michelle, you had a good relationship with her. Sounds like for a coach, you have to have a lot of trust in them to be able to switch off
Totally.
and do what they're saying.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And
so
you got to a point where it's just like you think of like the overtraining, but then you tell yourself, or let's say you go into a training session, you're like, you have 3 things to do, they're all weakness work, you're like, damn, is this too much?
Mhm.
Then you end up doing the whole session,
Mhm.
and you're sore as shit the next day. Then you have another huge session, and you're like questioning yourself, but then you get through that session again,
Mhm.
you're like, oh wait, I'm alive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
and I'm fitter because of it.
Yeah.
And how do you feel at regionals when you wake up on Saturday morning, Sunday morning? Like,
Yeah.
you're able to take, I think, a lot more than what you think, especially when
Totally.
we're training for things like
Yeah,
regionals.
no, for sure. And I mean, as the weeks and days go by and stuff, and you're able to recover and consistently output good workouts and
Mhm.
good performances, then that just feeds into itself, and you just
Mhm.
remind yourself like, I felt like this last week,
Yeah.
and it ended up being okay. I'm just gonna do it.
Yeah, and you see a rest day in the far distance.
Yeah.
You see
No,
a
it's
rest day
coming.
coming,
Yeah.
like, all right, we'll go hard.
Couple more days.
Yeah.
So quantifiably, you saw an improvement, whether it not be performance-wise, which we'll talk about, but even just like mentally day to day from taking a coach. There was something you really benefited from there.
Yeah, the main benefit was just completely putting my trust in Reza,
Yeah.
not having to think about the programming myself,
Yeah.
and just the accountability as well. Like he would get, he would hold me accountable. Like if I was putting in a little too much work all at once, for example,
Mhm.
like let's say my work day was packed, and I'd be like, ah, shit, I can only do these 2 sessions all at once at the end of the day. Like, he'd come talk to me after, and he'd be like, hey Pete, like, that's not how you're gonna get to regionals. Like, you need to split those up. You need to organize your schedule better.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of stuff. Just someone who's gonna be on your ass.
Right.
It's the same reason that people benefit from class workouts in CrossFit. You know, like, people come to the gym and we hold them accountable. And if they only show up for 1 day a week, then the coach is gonna pull them aside and be like, hey man, like, you were here every day last week, and this week you're only here for a day. Like, what's up? And they're like, I got no excuses. Okay, I'll see you for the next 5 days.
No excuses.
No excuses. Great banner in the back.
Yeah.
We just got to get NCR at the top.
Yeah. So that was a huge benefit. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, you know, mentally it was really good. I mean, at the first it was hard. Like, you can ask Jen. Like, I was complaining a lot.
Just because you were hitting weaknesses all the time?
Exactly.
Or?
Like, I was like, I've never worked things I hate so
This
often in such a short period of time, and I would oh my god, I'd like look at the workout and be like, Jen, like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. And then
So
you kind of get used to it eventually, and you get better at what you're doing too. Like, your weaknesses don't become so much of a weakness, and it gets fun.
You still get workout anxiety though when you
exactly.
see weaknesses in the program all day long.
Yeah.
I know.
It's like, this is gonna suck.
Yeah.
What was it for you? What are your weaknesses? What are? What do you
high volume squatting.
Okay.
Like, lots of squatting reps. Pistols were anything that involves a squat.
Yeah.
is tough for me.
Yeah.
Doing like high repetition, overhead squatting, squat snatches, anything that you receive in an overhead squat, or for, you know, lots of reps overhead squat, that was a weakness. So we were doing a lot of that, and then just trying to keep up with like gymnastics, burpees, like high rep. Not I know it's interesting. Some of those movements, like, I can manage in longer workouts. Like, a strength of mine is like a 20-minute time domain. You know, so like, if you put those movements in a time domain of 20 minutes, like, I can handle myself well.
Right.
But it's like those short sprints,
gear.
the sprint gear. Like, I've got trouble getting into that sprint gear. So we did a lot of shorter workouts.
Yeah.
Lots of sprinting, burpees, these kinds of things. You know, so yeah, like the 10-to-1. Burpee over bar and squat.
Yeah.
That was tough work.
Huge weakness for me too.
I had to do that a couple times.
Yeah. Come on, let's talk regionals.
I know.
Let's talk regionals. Getting to them, day one, travel, all
Day
that
one.
jazz.
Oh, you mean like going to?
Yeah. It was in Albany, 5 hours away. Did you drive?
Yeah. Drove.
Got
5
there
hours.
Thursday.
No, he got
Tuesday.
there about,
I went there
think,
early.
2
Early.
weeks before.
2 weeks before.
He wanted to get like really acclimated. How do you say that?
Acclimated.
Acclimated. He really wanted to get acclimated to the Albany environment.
Yeah, I heard it's a little bit above sea level, so I wanted to, you know, really just make sure it's settled in. No, we went a couple of days down. I was like, we went a day earlier than we usually would have.
Okay.
Yeah. He went a day later than
that's
he usually
fine.
would have. So it seemed like it was super spread out.
Seemed like a stretch. Why'd you go early?
We went a day early, legitimately almost for that exact reason, was to like settle in.
Get settled.
Yeah. We had a goal of like making every meal while we were there, and I was really concerned that like if we didn't get a day to like get our bearings and go grocery shopping and all those things, that we wouldn't be able to do that well. So there was that, and then just like from the car ride, stretching out. That's basically it. Yeah, just an extra 24 hours.
When you're prepping
Plus,
for
like,
regionals and you get something in your head
You just have
and you
to
want
do
to
it.
do it,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Exactly.
matter.
Right.
It's like
Yeah.
people around you could be like, no, that doesn't matter. Like, no, it's like, you're getting in the zone. So
Yeah.
for him, it
Literally,
was just like,
yeah.
I want to get there early. I just want to fucking get settled in and get in the zone.
No, it's literally
totally
to get in
would
the zone.
do the same
Yeah,
thing,
it's
I
just to
think.
get in
Yeah.
the zone. Like, yeah,
Be comfortable,
We
be-
could have gone a day later and still gotten the food done, but like
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, this is going to be better, and I was
Yeah.
more relaxed knowing I had
Yeah.
that extra day.
Yeah. Totally.
You know,
Mindset.
Mindset.
Exactly.
Sick. How do you like Albany?
As a city,
I don't know. Competing there. Oh, you guys have competed there.
We're a little sick of Albany.
Yeah.
No, actually, the extra day allowed me to explore a little bit.
Was it fun?
We went to a state park.
Did you?
Yeah, it was like kind of nice.
It's the capital city of New York. I
Yeah.
had no clue.
Capital of New York.
Yeah, man.
Everyone would assume it's New York.
Oh, they've got some cool
New York.
buildings. Like the states with their like, you know, with their government buildings, they don't joke around. They do it up big.
Yeah.
They've got like some buildings that looks like they're straight from ancient Greece.
Yeah.
Couple pillars on one
Over
of those.
there, yeah. In Albany, there's I think those are the government buildings or whatever.
Yeah, there's one. I think it was like,
Massive.
I don't know. Maybe it was either a state educational building or like
Mhm.
some sort of library or / archive building, and it's just these huge pillars.
Right.
You know, to go straight up all white. I don't know if
They do it big in America.
Yeah, they do.
America.
They do it big. Yeah.
So day one, what do you think
Yeah.
of the workouts?
You
like 'em?
Day one was 333.
Yep,
and
333
then
that one.
Yeah, I like day one a lot. I knew
Yeah.
I knew that coming out of day one, I had a chance to be in the top heat.
Mm-hmm.
And
Top 10. That's
yeah,
top heat. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I did that.
That's awesome.
So I felt good about them. I'm
Yeah.
good at those things. Good at running. Good at bench press. They're
Top.
both like general. They're both longer workouts,
Mhm.
right? Like Linda's took me 15 minutes. The best guys were less than that.
Mhm.
You know, but like in terms of barbell workout, like it was a little bit on the longer
Definitely
side,
longer.
more stamina, less of a sprint.
Mhm.
So that worked in my favor. And then obviously 333 is a really long workout.
Yeah.
Lots of rowing. I'm good at rowing. Decent at running. So.
How was
Yeah.
that 5K on the True Form? We got his opinion
that
on it.
sucked. That sucked a lot.
The aerosol, I
Yeah,
guess.
it
my
was
bad.
bad. It really sucked. I don't know.
Did you train it? Did you practice that event before?
Yeah, I did.
Thing?
I did the 222s in practice. I
Right.
didn't do the full thing.
You've done.
I've done
workout.
333 before though.
Yeah,
outside.
I feel like outside would
I've
be
done,
so much
yeah,
better.
and like
Yeah.
I've done 5K
Definitely.
on the True Form and stuff. Like I
Yeah.
didn't feel like on the assault runner like I had to do it exactly that way.
Right.
And I don't know. It sucked. I think the first event is always gonna feel worse. I mean, for me, I've never had a first event where like I've felt absolutely incredible.
Right.
The nerves kind of get to me, I think, a little
Mhm.
bit, and like for whatever reason, even if I'm going out and at the start mat, I feel good.
Mhm.
Like I'll start the workout and it's a little bit of a fight from start to finish.
Right.
Like even the row, like I'm really good at rowing, and I was fighting to like hold my goal paces, and then
Those rows felt nice though.
they
Eh?
felt really good.
Ooh,
Yeah,
they were like brand new. We were
rowers.
definitely the first ones
Always
on
good.
those bad boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Double unders. I don't know. It wasn't. It all led up to that run, and the run was slower than I expected it to be. But I think everyone was a little bit slower.
Yeah. Did you go out hot on that row? Did you row hard? Because you're a good rower. Did
Yeah.
you find any advantage in going
But it's
hard?
not about winning. Like you can lose it on the row.
Yeah.
So I didn't go to. You can't win it though. So I went hard,
Mhm.
but I didn't go crazy.
Right.
I just wanted to be like top 5 off the rower.
And then double unders unbroken. You had to break every 100.
Yeah, so I tried to.
Yeah.
I think I skipped up. Like I did the first 100 unbroken. I messed up a couple times, but just right back into it.
Yeah.
And finished.
Yeah.
You know, in a reasonable amount of time. No
Mhm.
like breaking or anything like that. And then just on the assault runner.
Right.
And on that, it was a fight from start to finish.
Yeah.
To again hold my goal paces.
Mhm.
What did you think about the chest pieces as an athlete?
Like-
Like how they were moving the little chest.
Oh, I
moving
loved
the chest
it. I
pieces
loved
ahead.
it. I love seeing where people are on that run. Yeah. It helped.
It was a little bit of a mess though.
Did it?
Like there's, like I don't know about your heat. I watched your heat, but I don't know. Like in our heat, it was like sometimes I would notice like one person would forget,
Oh.
and I'd see
They'd skip too.
Yeah, I mean like, oh okay, I'm ahead of this guy now, and then all of a sudden like, he's like 2 ahead. I'm like, tell you what happened there. Or,
Yeah.
Did it mess with like your pacing at all? Like you would pick up the pace a little bit when you see someone's chest piece go, or
A little bit. Like I would see. Well, once you settle into that run, like you start to see, and some people are pulling away.
Yeah.
Some people aren't, and you get to see who you're gonna end up being close to,
Mhm.
and then you start to see their chest piece move right before you
Mhm.
or right after you,
right?
and then you can kind of start to count the seconds that go by, each time, each 400 meters, like when that chest piece moves,
Yeah.
you're like, okay, I'm creeping closer. Like I can speed up a little bit.
Right.
And then as the rounds go by and maybe someone's catching you, then it definitely affects like how hard you're pushing. Like I wasn't able to hit my goal paces, but you know, there were certain guys that I was trying to catch or trying to keep off my tail, and
Right.
at that point you're just basing it off of that. You're trying not to get too far away from your goal, but sometimes that plan just kind of goes out the window and you're just trying to race against the guys next to you, you know?
I love that he's like, he was actually thinking about racing people. I was just trying to survive out there.
Yeah, a little bit different.
Yeah, my
Like
strategy
Josh
out there
Durant.
was just like, hey, run your race,
Yeah.
watch the chess piece go, and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
This guy's like, oh, this, I gotta catch up to this
Yeah.
guy. Like, I'm just fuck, yeah. It
Like
was
I almost
different
like,
strategy.
Josh Durve, I passed him on the very last. Like I was always catching up just a little bit. He was ahead of me the whole time, and then I passed him on the second to last move 800, and I didn't have enough juice to hold him off. He got off right before me. And
Yeah, he's a really good runner too,
Good
though.
runner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you feel after that? Because that's like, is that the longest regional event we've had so far?
Ever, yeah.
100%.
At regionals,
By far,
yeah,
right?
at regionals, yeah.
And at being the first event, you had mentioned the Randy thing. You're always kind of psyched
Yeah.
up, adrenaline up. Were you gassed after that workout, or what? Like, how did you feel compared?
Yeah,
to
like as gassed as a 40-minute workout would ever get you gassed, I think. But I wasn't any more.
It wasn't anything crazy
No.
more than what you'd be
No,
used to.
no,
Okay.
no.
No, well, the feeling and like, there's
Nice.
no adrenaline,
Exactly.
like spike, like. Everyone was kind of going into that workout like pretty lax. Like you're
Yeah,
not at
very
the start
relaxed.
mat,
No.
start mat like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
like you're just very chill. Like you hop on the row, or you go for a little row, and it's basically like,
Yeah.
you know, you finish the run, and obviously you guys went a little harder than me, but you know, you can recover from that. Like it's
Totally.
just a long run.
Yeah.
Like your muscle, like calves actually.
Yeah, your CNS isn't too crazy after
Yeah,
that. Like
yeah.
the recovery, because I feel like for those, especially those sprint type workouts,
Mhm.
you can really overload by the adrenaline, by just psyching yourself up for that.
Yeah.
Staying calm before and having a longer event definitely makes the recovery a little bit easier.
Right.
Makes it easier to transition into that next event. And again, since that next event wasn't too far, like it was all barbells, but you know, it wasn't a sprint.
No.
It's a lot of pacing.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like you gotta change gears completely. It's not the opposite end of the spectrum. It wasn't Fran.
Yeah, day one was pretty
You know?
aerobic, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially in Linda, we talked about this in ours, like, it was running.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
Vellner won that workout because he was running back and forth from 5 down to 1.
Yeah.
You know, and that was our game plan. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, I
But
tried
it
to
was-
run.
Oh
It
yeah,
just-
I was trying.
You tried to
I
run
could
too.
not, man. I would do a couple little steps and just go
Yeah.
straight to a walk.
Yeah.
So it was an aerobic day
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you were like 7th after day 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
So you got into that top heat for
Yeah.
Saturday morning or Saturday.
Yeah.
First
Right.
workout.
Yeah.
Let's rewind. Event 2.
Yeah.
Linda, what did you feel with that event? I know you thought it was a better one for you overall. What did you take in that event? Do you remember?
That
was another decent one for you,
Like
right?
10th or something, 11th?
11th, yeah,
Yeah.
10th or 11th.
Okay. Okay.
That's the top.
I think I was 11th and you were like 4 seconds faster
Yeah,
than me.
exactly.
So
I think I
it
might
must
have been 10th. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And how'd that one go compared to what you thought it was gonna go?
I mean, pretty much exactly the way I thought it was gonna go, except for the end. I thought I was gonna be able to run, and I wasn't able to. But other than that, it was pretty much on the button, exactly what I expected.
Because it's kind of like 333 in the sense you said, where you're probably not going in that juiced up because there's, you're kind of running your own race to some extent. Like it's not short. There's not a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Totally.
pretty chill overall day one.
Yeah, pretty chill overall. I mean, like when the events go as expected, it's always chill,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When
You didn't drop the bar on yourself or anything.
No.
Did anyone do that? Did anyone full
I
on
did.
collapse?
He failed a bench
I
press.
failed a bench
I've never
press.
seen him fail a bench press.
Yeah,
I
it was,
didn't know that.
yeah.
You must not have the camera
It
on
was
I watched
4.
I watched it because you were racing for the
It
top of the
screwed
heat.
me up, yeah, for sure. I was catching up. I
Yeah.
was gonna get those motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, but I just on my 3rd rep, I hit the
Oh no!
I hit
Yeah.
the thing, and then I went back down, and I go for my 4th rep, and it was like I don't know if I was off centered or something,
Yeah.
and it was basically like I wasn't gonna fight for him. Like, hey,
Yeah.
fuck it. I'm not making this rep.
Well,
I
yeah.
just
Guy
dropped it on my chest.
The guy grabbed it, Or something.
Yeah, but it took him a little bit. Like it was on my chest before he actually took it.
Yeah.
And then I sit up on my bench, and then I hear the announcer going, "And Paul Trombley is going to the bar." And I went like this. I'm like, nah, one more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, event 2, it went as expected. Like my goal was to do it all unbroken.
Yeah.
And looking back, I don't think that was obviously. I mean, you look at some of the top guys. Vellner broke up the bench press. You know, there's spots in that workout you could definitely take advantage of a little break, and if you can run, you know, if you can take advantage of that run back and forth on those end transitions, the second half.
That was a lot of transitions.
5 to 1. Yeah, exactly.
That's different than doing in your affiliate.
Yeah, so looking back, like I'd like to try it. Next time I do Lindo, I'll probably try that. I'll try breaking it up.
Yeah.
And then and see if I can. Maybe I'll put my bar at the other end of the gym and friggin' try to redo the whole regional way just to see. But there's definitely a little more strategy than just going in and doing it unbroken if you're gonna, you know. But I don't know, it worked for me and I felt good about it. Who knows if I would have been able to go a little faster.
Right.
That bench press was hard, man. Like that was the
195.
I was out of breath getting on that bench, and you feel like, you really do feel like if you unrack it too early, you're gonna drop it on your face.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so you take that extra second a couple of times. I would come back to the bench, like head down, like just try and get my heart rate down a little bit before I went under. And you know, towards the end, I think it was Nick Joyal who was going head to head with me in that one, and then he started passing me, and then that's when I just started to speed things up a little bit. But I couldn't catch him.
Yeah.
He was running, I think.
Cool.
Yeah.
So you feel good finishing day 1? You're happy with what?
Felt good finishing day 1, but nervous going into day 2.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
Day 2, starting with event 3, the muscle up handstand walk obstacle course. You were pretty good at that obstacle course, right? Or were you nervous about that event?
Yeah, I was decent. I was half decent. I knew that would be like, that was a bit of a crapshoot of a workout. Like unless you're a highly skilled handstand walker. You know, which a lot of people are. Like a lot of CrossFitters are really good at handstand walking, you know, or like ex-gymnasts and stuff like that. Unless you're one of those people, like you can be good at handstand walking, but you can still have that workout just kick your ass. Right. Because you just take one wrong step and your shoulders get juiced, and you know, it's a new obstacle. Whether or not you, like, even if you practiced with the stairs like we did, we had this elaborate setup with the mats to make the stairs and everything, and we tried it with hard stairs, soft stairs. Like it's not the same thing as having that. Right. You know.
What was that thing like, that apparatus?
It was really cool. Like
the one at the regionals.
Yeah, it looked like your hand would sink in a bit when you pressed.
Totally. Totally. There's almost like a little bit like memory foam almost. Like I found like
was that harder to step up the stairs on though than like the plates that you guys were using?
It was just different. Yeah, it was harder than plates. But we used pretty squishy mats, so we'd practice on squishy mats. But like. Again, like unless you're a skilled handstand walker, which we're not, I'm not, like being used to that makes all the difference for me. You know, like unless you're so good at handstand walking that you can step on anything and you can just adapt on the second, like I would have had to practice that to be good at it. You know, so like at the gym here, like I practiced hundreds of reps up and down the thing, and I got good at that. But I would have needed another 100 reps on the thing at regionals to get good at that, you know. And so I made the most of the situation, you know. Tried to get through it. Didn't do it incredibly, but.
Where'd you finish in that? You got to the pistols on the last round.
I got to the pistols. I was like halfway through the last set of pistols, so I don't know what that placed me at.
It was like 15th or something like that.
No, there. It was close. I think it was closer to 20.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was.
So you time capped?
Yeah, I got capped.
There's a lot of people that if you came 20th, that was a lot of people that have time capped on that one.
I came 26 and I was time capped.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. I want to say maybe even worse than 20th, maybe 18th though, or something like that.
Yeah. What was it? What was
17th?
Was it just like shoulder fatigue? What
once you start failing on the handstand walk,
yeah,
then shoulder fatigue sets in, and it just takes that much longer to recover and for you to be able to. Because if you're not doing it properly, if you don't have good technique going over the apparatus, then you're just fighting it the whole time. Like this guy did a strict handstand push-up on the thing.
I remember
because he was trying to save it. Like I had so many times where I was saving.
Epic.
I was like sideways.
I remember that. Yeah, I was watching it. I was at the end of your lane. Was it on the way down?
It was, I don't know.
It was up the ramp, I think.
It was
wasn't
up the ramp.
stairs. It was up the ramp.
Oh, was it up the ramp? Oh,
I think
yeah,
so.
yeah.
And like you went like kind of down and then back up.
Yeah,
like,
like
had
a
an
couple
epic
of times
save.
I went up and down and up.
But like think about that. Like he goes up, he comes down. Like he doesn't come down, but he's still on his hands, and he goes back up. Like
Yeah.
time upside down
Yeah.
is like triple the amount that
Yeah.
if someone just goes and does it.
Yeah,
Right. So like
it's
the
true.
shoulder fatigue is there.
And for me, I'm like, some people look at that, they're like, it's stupid. Like, why didn't you just come down? But I was like, I worked so hard to like get that perfect balance
Yeah.
point. I was like, I'm not fucking letting that go.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I'm gonna just hold this right now because I know I can get over,
Mhm.
and then I can rest. So it's just shoulder fatigue,
Right.
shoulder fatigue.
Right.
And so you're just trying to manage that the whole time.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I knew that would be the case, and then it was just the less you can fuck up, the easier it's gonna be on the shoulders. But
Yeah.
like, I fucked up a whole bunch, so
Yeah.
shoulders were dusted.
For me, it was like the opposite for that. Like I spent like 2 minutes on my first ramp. Like literally just couldn't get it.
Yeah.
I would fall, I'd come back around, I would fall. And then once I remember near the end of the workout, my ramps were actually feeling way better
Like
than at the
warmed
beginning.
up.
Yeah. But like our game plan too was like, don't go unbroken on the muscle ups. No point there.
Yeah.
You know, so like,
Yeah.
it wasn't, like I finished that workout and it was basically like I didn't work out.
It's just a bunch of skills.
Just, yeah.
Yeah.
I felt like I worked out.
A lot of effort on that.
Yeah, I was really trying to save those handstands.
Cool.
Yeah.
So event 3 done. Event 4, probably the second part of why you weren't looking forward to day 2, because what you mentioned of your
exactly. That was
weaknesses.
the first time.
sprint.
Day 2 was the first time I'd ever been in the top 10. So that
That's
top
pretty
heat.
cool.
So they're all the best guys at regionals, right?
Yes.
And I knew that day 2 would be a struggle for me.
Yeah.
It's like mentally it was tough too, because
Yeah.
I knew that like.
Because
This was a day where, on day 1, where I'm like talking about racing people.
Mm-hmm.
On day 2, I was like, I cannot race anyone. Like,
Yeah.
I need to fucking stick to my game plan and just get in the zone and just execute and be okay with doing a workout that I know I'm capable of doing.
I feel like it might
So-
be tougher too, because then, I mean, even though you're coming last in your heat would mean 10th place, which is amazing finish at regionals, but you probably still don't want to come last in your heat.
But
You know
it
what I
doesn't
mean?
mean coming 10th place, because there's guys
No.
in other heats that can still smash it, you know? And
absolutely.
that happened. Like
Absolutely.
Tim Paulson, going into day 2, Tim Paulson wasn't in top 10.
Mhm.
And he crushed that workout. You weren't in top 10, and you came 5th in the 4th workout in the snatch burpee, you know? So snatch burpee, like,
I was in the second heat, I think, man.
yeah, and you crushed it.
Mhm.
So that's just a perfect example there. You still got to go out as hard as you can. But what you don't want is you don't want the race against the other guys
Mhm.
to be your downfall and turn that workout into a poor performance because you like came out too fast
Yeah.
or something like that. So that was it for me. Is I was just like,
Definitely couldn't not work out, man.
yeah, you could come
You
out too
definitely
hard.
burn yourself out.
So I had a strategy. I stuck to it. I did okay. Like I think it was another one close to 28. Like it was top 20 maybe, but
Mhm.
wasn't an amazing finish. And
What slowed you down the most? The 175?
the burpees.
The burpees.
Yeah,
Okay.
175 wasn't too bad. It was definitely tough towards the end of that barbell, but it was just for me burpees. Like my legs get smoked,
Mhm. Mhm.
and so
Money was made on burpees on that workout.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone walked up to 175 fresh. If you're at regionals, you can snatch that no
yeah,
problem.
exactly. So
like
if you
the
can
first
do
10 is a joke.
Yeah,
Then
If
it was
you're-
like the burpees.
Yeah.
The first burpees were okay, and then you advance the bar. You go for that second set of 10.
Yeah.
We're still pretty good on that
Yeah.
barbell,
Mhm.
and that's when the burpees start
Yeah.
to set in.
You're either good at the barbell
Yeah.
and bad at burpees, which was me.
Mhm.
So I had to like have a game plan for that.
Mhm.
Or you're bad at the barbell and you're good at burpees.
Yeah.
So you game plan the barbell. But the best guys that go to the games, they're good at both and they just go ham
Yeah.
on both. There's no like strategizing. That's the
Yeah.
sprint type of workout that I'm talking about. Like
Mhm.
you just go all out. The guys that come top 10 in that event are just going crazy.
Mhm.
And they're just like bam, 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 back and
So
forth.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Being in the last heat, my point more so like you can definitely come 30th in the top heat. I get that. Like people can pass you.
Yeah.
But how much does being in that top heat mess your strategy when, like I said, even just within your heat, like just looking at the guys beside you, you don't want to be the last one finishing mentally. I would imagine.
No,
Right?
exactly. It
Yeah.
sucks.
And so how much does that push you then to go away from your game plan and potentially get a 30th place because you go out too hot? Is it harder being in the top heat for that?
For sure. But guys are good at being mentally strong with that stuff. I think, for me, like, I was able to stay focused and like execute my game plan. But you can always look back, and I could look back and say, like, maybe I should have used them to push me a little bit harder. I was trying not to race anybody, but I could look back and be like, fuck, if I tried to keep up with that guy, like, could I have been able to do it? Who knows?
Yeah.
But
where did you finish?
all I know is that towards the end, they, like, the top guys like Chad Smith, those guys were finishing, and I was like on my second to last set of burpees, and I was like, fuck my life. Like, I'm doing these burpees and these guys are finished over here. Are you kidding me? And I looked around and I was like, who's still close to me? And this guy over here was, and so I was like, I'm gonna beat him. I need some motivation.
You don't want to be the one that gets cheered on.
No. But you just need, I was like, right there, I was like, I need to change my mindset. Who can I race? And then I was like, I'm going. I'm going for it, And you just got to be able to, flick the switch there.
So you said you were like around 20th in that event?
Yeah, something
like that. So what that put you going into day 3? Do you remember? You were still up there.
Well,
15th and 17th?
No, we were, going into day 3, we were like right beside each other. You were 16th, I think, and I was 17th.
Yeah.
Or like you were 15th.
Yeah.
You must have been 2 spots ahead of me, because we were lane beside each other,
15,
so they always
17,
go like,
maybe?
yeah,
15,
like
17,
Right.
14, 16.
Right. Cool. So going into day 3, it's the most fun day to talk with you guys about, because that event was so cool.
Great day.
Being right beside each other.
Yeah.
That's sick. We talked to PT a lot about that.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That event, I would look at it as, you guys finished, right? You just caught him at the end, right? You guys tied or something like that.
Yeah.
But you were ahead at the beginning.
Yeah.
Correct? And like I would look at
at the beginning, we were pretty much the exact same.
I think we basically started the boxes.
Exactly.
The boxes were
same
separate.
time,
Yeah.
and he ended up probably with like 6 box step overs ahead of me.
Yeah. And that's where I was expecting you to do a bit better, just because the box step overs, you're taller.
A little taller.
You know what I mean? Which helps.
Yeah.
So
And it's a generally longer workout. Like he's got great work capacity. And
Yeah.
So talk through that event. How that one pace out? What was your plan going?
Another like pacing, strategic type of workout. That's another one I'd look back on, and like the beginning. You definitely know that the boxes are going to be where the money is made, but a lot of guys did really well, just like going pretty fast at the beginning. But our strategy was, it worked for us. I was crushed by the end.
Yeah.
So who knows if I could have done better, but we paced it out at the very beginning, like just totally relaxed. The goal was to get to those box overs with like feeling fairly fresh,
right?
And then just go ham, which we did.
Yeah. Were you guys beat up going into that day?
Not really.
No.
It's the least sore I've ever been.
Yeah.
From regionals?
Yeah. My calves were sore from 333.
Yeah.
Calves were sore.
I can imagine. Linda, I would expect to make.
My pecs, my bench press, my pecs, because bench press hurts my. Well, it used to, not anymore, but it used to hurt my shoulder a lot. So like all year I barely did bench press with a barbell.
Right.
And then Linda was nuts. I did some bench press, and I wasn't really concerned because I've always been decent at it. But just that volume at that intensity, not having trained it for a while, like my pecs were crazy sore for pretty much the whole weekend.
But it wasn't like waking up Sunday morning in 2016.
No.
2016, you woke up Sunday morning, you did the pistol workout, the 104 wall balls, and you did the 405 deads, 120 GHDs.
Yeah.
Saturday in 2016 was like that messed people up. It's like, but it wasn't like that this year.
No, it wasn't.
Because it was more of an aerobic regional overall. It was like day 1 was pretty aerobic. Day 1 was pretty aerobic.
And like it was well balanced. Like nothing too. All the tests were really cool and definitely broad, and like like you said, like you didn't feel too tired after event 3, the handstand walk. It was a good test of just high skill stuff. Not too much volume, but just high skill movements.
And hey, Dave's been testing pure strength forever.
Yeah.
Never really tested just pure skill, and like that workout is basically pure skill.
Pure skill. Yeah. And
because everyone can pistol, it's the handstand walk.
Didn't feel too bad. But those lunges after the box overs, like that was the worst my hips had felt
Really?
all weekend doing
The
those.
lunges were worse than the box step overs.
No, sorry. Like I think it was the box step overs
Right.
that got my legs feeling the way that they did.
And then they were brutal. The
They were the lunge, another like overhead movement for me. I think like I can do okay with this movement with one arm out for balance.
Yeah.
But then as soon as I
That's
bring
savage,
that in,
man.
I can't do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like in some crazy weird like deep lunge position, like back was arched. I wasn't able to like find a good position, especially how, out of breath I was. And it took me like 3 tries to get 50 feet. And I'm like ahead of PT.
Yeah.
I can't see him at this point because I'm doing the lunges. Put my dumbbells down at 50, turn around, and he's literally right there. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Time's winding down, and he puts the dumbbells down, slaps me in the ass. Let's go. I was like, okay, it's now or never. Pick it up and start going.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
Was that one of the cooler regional moments you've had? Or competing moments you've
Well,
had?
we've never
Say?
done a workout side by side like
No.
that at regionals.
Like,
Dude, it just
the
feels
odds
like
of that are-
Yeah.
the odds
Even
of that
being
are
in the
really
same
hard.
heat's probably tough sometimes too, right? Like depending on the workouts
Totally.
and everything.
We weren't in the
we've
same
never really
heat
been in
all
the
week.
same heat.
Yeah, ever. I don't think.
That's pretty cool.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're same heat going in
Same
the last
heat.
day. It was cool.
Beside each other.
Yeah, exactly.
And we
Really
knew
sweet.
like we had done very similar in practice.
Yeah.
We like you had tested that, I tested that.
Yeah.
And we essentially did the same.
We had very similar game plan.
Yeah.
We had everything. I knew we knew it was
We
gonna be
just stuck
close.
together and
Yeah. Yeah.
At
And
the end,
I
it
beat
was
him because he
funny.
got no rep.
Did you beat me in that workout?
Yeah.
I thought we tied.
Did we tie?
I thought we tied.
He kept saying you guys tied.
Oh yeah. We probably tied. I know
I'll fact check
we
it.
probably tied. But if it was in the gym, I beat him by like a couple feet.
Yeah. Like he was ahead of me.
But I didn't get the
He was-
square.
Yeah, exactly. He didn't get. I think that's what happened.
Yeah.
You got no rep and then went
Yeah,
back
man. Like
and
I
couldn't
slapped
find
this
it.
guy's ass. I grabbed my dumbbells. I'm like, fuck this, let's go.
Yeah.
And then I take my first step. The judge is like, no, come back.
Yeah.
I like walk
Then
back
tried-
with the thing.
I thought because of that I would be able to beat you, so
Yeah.
I took like a super long step.
Oh no.
And the judge didn't even give me a chance to stand up. I thought I was past, and I put my foot down, and he's like, no rep, I'm in the bottom of my lunge. And I'm like, you kidding
You
me?
tried yet? Yeah.
3, 2, 1 beef, I just put it
That's
down.
where there's like a picture of us
Kissing?
kneeling
No, that's a
down.
different picture.
Yeah,
No,
kneeling
no,
down, giving
that was
it-
the last event.
giving each other a hug, yeah. But it's because we both pretty much ended at the same, like in a lunge position,
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to beat each other,
Yeah.
and then dumbbells just come
Yeah,
flying
yeah, yeah.
down.
Yeah. I was in fetal position.
Last event 6. What was it? Thrusters, rope climbs again,
Thrusters
right?
and rope climbs.
Thrusters and rope climbs.
That was by far the funnest event at regionals. Like event that I've ever done at regionals.
Yeah.
Because we were in the same heat again. And
That's right.
we both crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was really fun to watch.
It was basically a race between you and me in that workout.
Yeah, well, yeah, for the first 2
That was
rounds.
the most
and then
clutch finish.
And then there was once you got off that last rope,
Mhm.
you had it. I wasn't off the rope yet. You were gone. I was like, this guy's going unbroken. Like, I need to walk to my bar.
Yeah. You won that event. You came
Yeah.
top 5.
I came fifth. Yeah.
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 That's sick. Great way to
Yeah.
close out the weekend.
Yeah, it was a great way. Really.
And like
good.
that's it, like when we talked about your weaknesses, like that's potentially like, I mean high volume. That's not
thrusters.
high volume.
Like I'm good at rope climbs.
Yeah.
And the fact that it was a heavier thruster
Helped.
worked in my favor.
Yeah.
It wasn't a crazy high volume, and it was a heavier thruster, and I'm like decently strong, so
Mhm.
that helped. Had it been
Double the reps.
21-15, yeah, double the reps at 95 pounds,
Yeah.
then it would
Different
probably
story.
be a different story.
Yeah.
He's
Like
done
I'd
that
still
before.
do okay. Like I definitely, thrusters have never been too crazy for me.
Mhm.
It's like wall balls too. It's still a squatting movement, but I'm decent at it because I'm not going up. Because you get a rest here, your legs get a rest.
Mhm.
So like it's a
Mhm.
bit of a when it's just like just squats.
It was
And it's
just
like
a
bam,
front
bam,
squat or
bam, bam, bam,
something.
and my legs start
Yeah.
burning too much.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
one to finish on.
No, that was epic, man. That was really fun. Like watching you finish that workout, like, and then you ran in. It was just like that was another really cool moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
We were
sick-
the only two on the finish
sick
mat.
handshake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Business partners, only two on the finish mat.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that was cool.
That's
Really
an awesome
cool.
moment, for
Yeah.
sure. And so you ended up finishing the regional 1 spot behind him, 10th, 11th, was it?
10th and 12th.
12th?
Yeah. I forget who snuck in between us. Josh Gervais, maybe? Something. I forget.
Sam Conway, maybe.
Oh, St.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And was that your best regional performance?
That was my best regional performance.
That's really cool.
Yeah, he needed a first place finish to get past me too.
I did.
Yeah, I was beating him all weekend. And
Yeah.
All weekend, man.
Got
But
the
that's what I
first
said in my
place finish,
podcast.
not bad.
I couldn't believe that. Like when I watched the last heat, I saw that I won. I was happy. I'm like, that's cool. And then Michelle comes up to me. She's like, you tied for 9th. I'm like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like like I said, like it's just it
First
pays
place.
to win
It
events,
does.
man.
Yeah.
It's just like
Pays
you get
to win
100 points.
events.
Like,
100 points.
did you see what happened in
And there's
Australia?
such a spread going down.
Yeah.
Like you're in 5th place. You're that much further in the points from
Yeah.
1st. You know, 5th to 10th. I don't know exactly what the numbers are, but 5th to 10th is a lot closer.
I was 50 points.
Yeah.
Out of 5th. Zeke Grove, man. Zeke Grove. He was in the 3rd heat in the last workout. And he jumped and he
Whoa.
qualified. He was in the stands having a beer when they announced the winners.
Wow.
He's like,
And he qualified for the games?
yeah. He's like, and 5th spot, returning to the games, Zeke Grove. He's like, had to run down.
Are you serious?
Yeah, man.
No way.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I couldn't
You
believe
just
it.
never know, man.
Yeah.
Do you know that? Man, that's crazy.
I didn't know that. That's wild.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Yeah.
What was your best regional finish before that? 17?
17.
That was 2016?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a big jump, man.
Last year didn't make it, and then
Before
I
that
knew
was
I had to go
19.
back. Regionals was always, I think it was big. Like Rez and I talked a lot about this like before, and
Can't turn the camera around.
talked a lot about it before. Like regionals, I'd always done half decent at. Like for whatever reason, the way the workouts are programmed, and maybe it's in front of the crowd, and it's you're going head to head against guys. Like I always do a little bit better,
Yeah.
I feel, than I do in the open.
Yeah.
So this year we prioritized
It's
it.
been
And
more game.
obviously, because I didn't make it the year before as well,
Mhm.
like open was priority. Like the style of workouts that are programmed in the open, make that stuff your priority. And I think just being better at those like paid off, and naturally I'm a little bit better at the regional stuff, and it just ended up being a really good season.
Yeah. So obviously pretty satisfied with that performance.
Yeah.
What was one positive takeaway, like you were stoked on, and what's something you wanted to work on coming out of that regional, would you say?
Like athletically.
Yeah, like anything, mentally, athletically, prep, execution, like.
Stoked wise, I mean stoked wise, like the whole regional went exactly the way I expected it to. So I was able to execute a game plan.
Is that like a
And
vet move right there? Like you know what to expect now because you've done it so many times?
It's probably a vet move. Like you're just more comfortable.
Yeah.
Maybe it was the extra day I had before.
Yeah, exactly. Get acclimatized
But it
with
was-
everything else already.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
basically
exactly.
like you know yourself as an athlete now. You know,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you've been there before.
Yeah.
You know the shit
Yeah.
that you're good at. You know the shit that you're
Exactly.
bad at.
And
like,
you don't try and do stupid shit. Like you're not gonna, not gonna catch Patrick Vellner on the true form. You know what I mean? So you don't go for it. Like there's certain things you try and you don't try, and that's exactly it. Experience gets you there. So I was
Right.
super. Obviously you always want to do better, and you can always look back on things and say like, oh, if I did it this way, but everything was as expected. So that was a positive.
Yeah.
And you want that going into a competition.
Right.
You want to be able to execute what you know you can do.
And what's something, if anything, you took away from it as like a work on?
Something to take away from it. I think day 2, like going into day 2, I kind of counted myself out a little bit, like knowing.
Just because of the
yeah, I was in the top heat. I was like super nervous going in. I'd never been in that position before. I knew the workouts were really tough for me. I knew they were going to be my worst ones. Maybe they didn't have to be as bad as they were if I just had a little bit of a better mindset. But again, it's like uncharted territory.
Yeah.
And now that I've been there, I'm more experienced in that domain, and next time I'm there,
Right.
which I will be
Absolutely.
able to execute a little bit better.
goes into confidence like in workouts.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your plan going into next year? Anything changing? You keeping Reza as a coach? Have you talked about that yet?
Yeah.
That went well for you?
Yeah, it went really well, and thank God he's down to do it again.
Yep.
So game plan is, just do the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now, just kind of chilling, just coming off of vacation. So
Yeah.
just kind of gonna slowly roll back into training, and then by the end of the summer, try and hit things full force.
Yeah.
And just start focusing again on the open. And
That's that kind of, you have to take that seriously now,
Yeah.
right? I know we've talked about that before. Like,
Yeah.
you can't be like, I came 10th at regionals, I'm sniffing the games now. Regionals is my focus. You still have to train to
Honestly,
be open.
that was, I think that was my downfall. Why I didn't make it 2 years ago. It was because like I came off 17th place, and I looked at my finishes, and I'm like, like I got some really good finishes, and there's a couple things I need to work on for sure. So I was like, okay, a year of training, like I can come close to making it to the games, like maybe top 10. And I focused so hard on regionals and the things that I needed to improve there. Like I didn't focus nearly enough on the open, and that was a huge change. So this year, like, yeah, I'd like to say, 12th this year. Next year is going to be top 5, but it's just got to be just needs to be on the open. Just crush the open, and if you crush the open, like if you're top 5 at the open, like you've got a chance at regionals. So cool. Yeah.
Well, I asked PT this question last time to finish it. Why, outside of potentially just like it's what you do on a daily basis, it's kind of in tune with your work, why is it that you compete? Why do you enjoy it? Why do you keep doing it? It's obviously getting harder to do it at your level every single day. The competition is growing, the commitment's growing. You just got married, all this kind of stuff. Why? What drives you to compete?
Oh man, it's a good question.
What, isn't it?
It's
a good one,
a great question. I ask myself that every single day, man.
There you go.
It's a combination of things. I mean, one, we grew up being athletes, and we have competitive minds. So like, that's one factor there. You just want to compete because it's fun. As much as people hate being on, or say that they hate competing and that feeling of being on the floor, like it's pretty fucking amazing.
It's also that.
You compete for the moments that we had on day 3, like that is so fun. It was the funnest regionals I ever had this year because of that. So like you do it for that. Yeah. But then on like a less selfish level, I feel like I need to always be as best as I could possibly be, so that as a gym owner and as a coach, I can show the members and the people that look up to me that like anything is possible. Right. Like we're out there preaching every single day. We're telling people to work on their muscle ups, and like don't worry, like it's gonna come. I know it seems like it's never gonna come right now, but like 3 months from now, like if you work hard enough, like you can get it. Like I want to be an example of that hard work can get you as far as you want to go. Right. Try and break down walls, and who knows if anything is possible, but I'm gonna try. Right. I'm gonna try to go as far as I possibly can, and
it's just basically like what you're saying is like you want to be showing people that you're trying to be the best as you can.
Yeah, and they need to do the same thing. Exactly. And they need to trust, what I'm saying and what I'm coaching them to do, because I've been there. You can't if you want to be the best coach in the world or the best gym owner in the world, like you can't expect that if you don't walk the walk.
Right. And it's not even just about competing, it's about showing that that's your thing, but their thing could be weights. Their thing could be being a functional grandparent to their grandkids.
And it's not even about making it to the games or to regionals or, it's just like, it's literally like I'm trying as hard as I can. Yeah. And this is the result. I do happen to make it to regionals. Like when I stop making it to regionals, maybe that day is gonna come. It probably will at some point. Like I'm still gonna.
Not. It's never.
It's still gonna do the open. Yeah, 60 years old. It's still gonna.
First yeah.
It's gonna. I like to think that maybe at 60 it could go for a record. Yeah. But at some point it's gonna stop. But I still want to be striving to be the best I can possibly be. Yeah. Right. Like Jim, I don't think you can respect a coach of yours who doesn't try to do that.
You'll never sandbag the open, essentially is what you're saying. Yeah. You'll never sandbag it. You'll always be trying to get better. Yeah. And even as your competition level goes down, you'll still be like, I still need to get better at this area because I've lost a little bit.
Yeah, the goal is
always
you can reduce it down to what's the purpose of CrossFit is to get healthy. Right? Well, how do you get healthy? You need to increase your fitness. How do you increase your fitness? You got to work on your weaknesses. You got to do constantly very functional movement at high intensity. You got to eat healthy. So you got to do all those things. You need to do them at intensity and as best as you possibly can do, and then preach that to your clients and try and set a good example. So it's just like.
So that's what he does, man. For the athletes of CrossFit NCR.
It's just just try and stay healthy and set a good example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
I think you do that. You've done it since day one, so.
Thanks, man.
There you go. Well, very way to end. Do you guys have anything you want to say closing out? Any final?
No excuses.
No excuses.
And thanks to the NCR Nation for coming, right? Like we
Yeah.
talked. I did
Yeah.
the debrief on the
Yeah,
regionals.
true.
You did a debrief, and like,
Yeah.
man, it was
amazing.
insane to see the
Yeah.
blue in the crowd,
Yeah.
especially when I was
That
doing
was
those
amazing.
box jumps overs, and I heard I actually heard
Yeah.
a chant.
Yeah.
And I put the dumbbells down. I'm like, yeah, fuck, people
Let's
are here,
do
man.
it.
Yeah.
People are here watching us work out.
Right.
It was
Like,
really,
seriously,
they drove
you know?
5 hours to watch
Yeah.
our workout. Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Pick
pretty
up the
good.
dumbbells
Yeah.
and give them a show.
It was
You know,
amazing.
so
Yeah.
it's really cool to have everyone there watching, supporting.
Definitely.
And then we would come back to the gym, and it's not even the people that were there. It's, hey, we watched you guys all weekend.
Mhm.
Right.
You know, like I was at the cottage
Yeah.
and I streamed it off of my data on my phone. You know,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that to me is just
Totally.
like that's unreal.
Amazing.
You know?
Yeah.
Felt really good.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Felt
So
good to
thanks
have
to
the
the
support.
thanks to the nation.
Thanks to the nation.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll leave it there. If you are listening to this on any of your podcast stations, be sure, especially Apple, which we are now on, which is pretty cool, be sure to leave us a review if you enjoyed this. Subscribe, YouTube, subscribe, like. Yeah.
Till
that's
next
it.
time.
Till next time.
That's it.
Thank you.